Dobla da da dobla dobla da dobla dobla da da dobla 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 da da dobla dobla de Lucho Luis Diaz. Oh my God, incredible scenes of glorious emotion. That's a goal. Golazo, 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 Cody Gakpo. Yo, our front three is cooking. I told you, bro. Lucho da dobla dobla da da dobla dobla da da dobla dobla da made in Colombia. Vamos Lucho, vamos Colombia. Let's go for Patrick Hero Lucho Diaz. Let's go.
Expose him.
To the important topic, which is Arne Slot. Slot out. That is my analysis of this slot situation. Hashtag slot out. Slot out.
Welcome back to the Football Terrace. It's straight fact on Wednesday. We're exposing Husam today. He is giving big apologies for his ridiculous negativity in the summer towards his club. So make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you are subscribing. Make sure the bell notifications are turned on if you haven't done so already. I think we've shared the link in the Telegram group chat. If you're not in the group chat, there's that little QR code there near Husam's head. You should absolutely be in there. No, we haven't shared it yet. I thought we had. We are live. That's going in there right now. I'm going to write that in capitals. We are live. There we go. So people, you can see that. If you're in the group chat, you'll see it. Well, if you're in the group chat, you're already here. Why would you go in there? Gentlemen, how are we? We good?
I was good before that shit introduction right there. You're lucky I like you, Terry, or we would have had a problem. I would have pulled up to your house and we would have exchanged hands.
Bruv, I would chop you down
No,
inside 30 seconds, bruv.
No, you won't.
30 seconds. There's no way you've got the
Khabib
body
beats Conor, end of
to
discussion.
take it.
No.
When
Let me
Henry
just
and
say-
Harry meet ya.
Big up to everyone watching us. Listen, everyone gets shit wrong. All three of us on this panel have gotten stuff wrong, but there will be no apologies. You get me? It's November. So
Which one did you get wrong, the Diaz or the slot?
I'm the leopard in the tree right now, and I'm just relaxed. I'm hanging out. You know how whenever you watch an animal documentary, the leopard is just doing this, hanging on the tree. I'm just hanging. I'm relaxed, bro. I have no reason to be upset today. So.
No chest, Husam. We'll talk about it on the show, bro.
Are you gonna beat Arsenal?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. How much are you gonna beat them by?
2+ goal margins.
2+ goal
These
margin.
guys, bro, these guys are one of
You know that Inzaghi said he's gonna rest players, right?
But I'm at home. I'm expecting to. And they have
So
no
Mkhitaryan is gonna score 3 goals against Arsenal.
They don't have hair flick. It's all right. Hair flick just came back, bro.
Okay. Yeah, the football terrace. You wanna know the best thing about the football terrace?
Seriously, bro. Who this?
All the
I'm
Arsenal
supposed to be afraid. Am I supposed to be afraid? Okay, let me. Am I supposed to be afraid of Arsenal when Liverpool rocked to the Emirates and literally could have won the game? This Arsenal props that has been happening lately is absolutely out of line, bro. I bet that the people that actually prop Arsenal at the current moment in their country, they're showing the games of last season and people think it's this season. People think the Arsenal are still winning the games, bro. People have VPNs and they're watching the games of last season. They're mocking them, bro. They are absolutely fooling them, bro. Arsenal, I was saying that yesterday because someone was saying we have a better team than Liverpool. Ashraf, big up Ashraf, right? Yesterday, we have a better team than Liverpool. I'm like, maybe in Emirates, they're watching the games of, they're showing you the games of last season, bro. Because this season, you don't look like better than Brighton. This season, you're not better than that.
We are going to come to the Arsenal game a bit later. I don't want us to get away. I know you don't want to apologize. I know you're not man enough to apologize to Sam. I understand that you lack that sort of masculine gene to say, do you know what? I got it wrong.
But... Can you stop it, Terry? What do you mean lack this masculine gene? Don't say that.
Only real men can admit their mistakes. Only real men will admit their mistakes.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong in November. It's too early to apologize.
You're definitely, but you're not slot. You're not slot. You're not slot out though, are you? You're not slot out.
No, I'm not. That one I've already said 3 months ago.
I have a better question for you.
I know.
I wanted to hear it on the Football Terrace. To be fair, I wanted to hear you say it. now.
I did. I said this like what?
Oh,
From,
I've got a bit of amnesia, so I'd like to hear
I
it
said
again,
this on the
please.
straight facts like what from 2 months ago. I said, listen, the truth is like
Since you have been wrong, Husam, can I ask you a simple question?
yeah.
Do you have a bigger chance of winning the league than Arsenal now?
I don't know yet. It's too early.
No, this is
too early.
this is not Husam, guys. Where is Husam?
It's too
Can we
early.
get the old Husam?
Bro, the
No.
old Husam was
What happened
here.
to Husam? Are you traumatized
Old
from Man City,
Husam.
bro?
طب
What is
صدق
wrong with you, bro? Where have you gone, bro? What happened to you? Seriously, I've been being serious, bro.
Can
You
stop
are
now?
7 points ahead of Arsenal. You went to the Emirates and got a point. Stop this.
Okay.
Arsenal have injuries. They don't have a team better than you. Stop
This is
this
the best
notion,
nickname
bro.
I've ever seen in my life. Pussam. Pussam.
You know, if I start insulting people, I'm
Do
the
you know
bad
what
guy.
the problem is,
Don't
Don't
Husam?
worry about
You
my,
won yesterday, but
don't worry
you're
about
getting
my
cooked.
masculinity because I'm gonna say stuff about your family members. So just allow it. Now, when it comes to the apologies, there are no apologies in
يا
November.
أخي,
There مؤمن اسكت شوي خلينا نحكي. There are no
why
apologies.
you're rattled? Why you're
November.
rattled? Why you speaking Arabic? You're rattled,
No,
bro.
I'm
Does
just
that mean
trying to be
shut?
quick.
you're
fucking-
so-
Does that mean shut up and let me finish?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I'm trying to
literally.
speak and
We
you keep
literally
interrupting
said
me.
that, bro.
Yeah.
Just keep interrupting me. Let me speak. When we get to the Arsenal intersection, I'm not going to be in your ear. Just relax.
You will be, bro.
Anyway, so when it comes to this, first of all, you know, I have to say it's an honor as a content creator, 3 years making this, that there are content creators now obsessed with me. I love it. I live rent-free in their head. Usually when my team scores, I celebrate the goal, but when their team scores, they call me out. It's funny. There's levels to this, and I celebrate the players' goals, but they call me out and they're celebrating. Anyway, when it comes to the apologies, it's November. There will be no apologies in November to any football club. There will be no apologies to anyone. It's too early. We need consistency. Consistency is where we get apologies. I mean, Luis Diaz scored 3 goals in 4 games in the Champions League. All of them came in 1 game. The 3 games before that, he went blank. So, look, I'm not the type of guy to say no matter how many GA Luis Diaz gets, I am not going to be fooled by him. You know, I don't hate my own club like certain individuals in the chat. I love my club. I want my club to be successful. I want my club to win. So, yes, if Luis Diaz does get good GA, I will apologize. 100%.
No,
Consistency is king.
Yeah.
But what we're not going to do is I go like, I was wrong about Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz is fantastic and he's amazing. And then he blanks the next 15 games. And then I just go back to like, what I was like, it's just, yeah, so it's pointless. So we need to get consistency first. Come January time, February time, stuff like that. That's when we will see the real metal of these players.
This is a great name, Kamara Harrison.
That's not even slightly funny.
It's brilliant. It's very well done. It's
yeah,
again.
this Kamal is attractive, so that's a compliment.
You're saying you look like a woman?
No, I'm saying I'm attractive. That's what I'm saying.
You're attractive. Oh my god. Really?
Let's not go there. Stop it.
Do you okay? So you're treating your team like Spurs last season. So are you imposters? Top of the table?
No,
are you
we're not
like
imposters.
imposters?
No, we're not
We're not
imposters. We have world-class players, so we're not imposters.
So what are you now?
I said that Spurs have no chance of winning the league last season. So
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did say from the beginning we're going to challenge.
But
It's
your
just
chances
it's
must
just
be
the
better than
percentages
Arsenal at
there.
the current moment. Must be better than Arsenal, objectively.
don't
Not
know
trying
yet.
to catch
I
you
don't know
out.
yet.
Not trying to
don't know
catch you out or anything. But
You can't catch
genuinely,
me out. I'm pressed as a
7 points ahead of Arsenal, playing much better than them.
Yeah, I know, but it's
Right?
November.
Already played most than quarter of the season. Your
Yeah, but
players have been
also, can I
doing
ask you a
good.
question? Can I ask you a question,
Yes,
Mo?
good.
Why are you making this about Arsenal? Why aren't you saying you're only 2 points ahead of City?
But this is why I didn't say it. I didn't ask you to be favorites. I don't think you understand the questions.
That's why you have to take it step by step.
What do you mean step by step? This is the no
I'll
chess
tell you what I
thing.
mean step by step. If
Tell
I
me,
come
tell
here
me. If
and
you
I say
ask me,
I'll give you an
No,
example. If
this
I come here
forget
and I
about
say
it, bro.
wild shit, and then City beat Brighton.
no one asked you to
And
be
Arsenal
one.
beat
No
Chelsea.
one asked you. No one asks you to say that you're ahead of City because they are 2 points behind you in a crisis, right?
Mhm.
But Arsenal at the current moment aren't comparable to Liverpool in
Yeah, but
every single
what
aspect of the game.
What difference does
It
it
does,
make to
I'm
you?
gonna tell you what it
What
means.
difference
I'm
does
gonna.
it make to you if I say we're
It
better than
means
Arsenal?
that you yourself are wrong again because you tipped Arsenal to win the league. So you're wrong
No, I
3
don't think
times.
I don't think that's
Yes, and
over.
Arsenal.
I don't think that's over yet. This is all about this Sunday. this Sunday, if they do lose to Chelsea, that's when I think they're gonna be out of it. But right now,
yeah,
I'm not gonna.
if you guys go 10 points, if you guys go 10 points, if you go 10 points,
one second,
sorry,
no, 1 second,
okay,
because you guys have been pressing. Now it's time for me to speak.
I'm
You
not
have
pressing.
said Terry is one of the guys
Counter
that
press.
always says there is no need for us to make sweeping statements. So why am I expected to make sweeping statements? Right now, it's November. Literally this Saturday, if we draw against Aston Villa and Arsenal win against Chelsea, all of a sudden people are like, yeah, Arsenal.
What is the more likely outcome of the two games? We do this. We do this. Well, I love this game. I love this game. I love this game.
No such thing as more likely outcome.
No. This is how we analyze. This is how we analyze. Okay. Okay. This is how we analyze. Okay. Go ahead.
Arsenal lost to Bournemouth away.
Go ahead. You're done. You're done. This is how we analyze football. We look at the history. This is how football YouTube works. You've been doing football YouTube way more than me as well. You analyze the past. You analyze what is happening. You analyze what is happening. So it's a shame that I'm telling you how it works. And then you try to predict the future. Not say you're going to win the league. But we analyze. When we do previews for the games, and Terry asked me, Mo, what do you think Inter will do against us? I say the more likely outcome is Inter win. Why? I'm analyzing what has happened in the last 2-3 months. And I try to predict. Otherwise, there won't be football YouTube.
Okay, the more likely outcome is Arsenal beat Chelsea because they haven't lost a game at Stamford Bridge since 2018.
That's you. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. And you? What about you against Aston Villa?
Right here. Also, Chelsea in the big game this season.
What about you and Aston Villa? What about you and Aston Villa?
Chelsea in the big game this season. Terry knows what Chelsea fans were saying about his club literally a week ago, and they went to Old Trafford and got a draw. Some people were saying they were lucky to get a draw as well. If it weren't for certain.
Do you know what I find interesting about this conversation is I don't necessarily think. Obviously, we're playing when it comes to the apology stuff. That's a bit of fun. No one take that seriously. I know you boys don't. Viewers, relax. It's fun. I don't think it's a sweeping statement to say that you've got a better chance on Arsenal to win the league with a 7-point gap. And the reason I'll tell you as to why is this. Let's just say we know at the beginning of the season what we know now, that Liverpool are this good, because you know Liverpool are this good. If Liverpool started the season with a 7-point gap over Arsenal, it wouldn't be a sweeping statement to say Liverpool have a better chance of winning the league than Arsenal. A 7-point advantage is hugely significant. So if you're 10 games into a season, so you're we're like a quarter of the way through, and you're 7 points clear, unless you think there's going to be an 8-point swing, which might happen, I don't think it's a sweeping statement to say that Liverpool from this point are and should be considered more likely than Arsenal to win the league. It's not talking about City because City are only 2 points behind you, but the question was directly about Arsenal. This here says, I'm an Arsenal fan. Liverpool will win the league, is what Daniel Ramsey.
Yeah, I want to hear what I want to hear what Arsenal fans in the chat, people. Listen, I want to hear what you guys think. Do you believe now that your team is in a worse position than Liverpool to go and challenge and win the league against Man City? That is, you know why that question is very important? Because if we don't believe so, we're gonna sit here in February and assume that City won the league already. That is why we need.
The thing is, Arsenal fans this is where I think we've got to keep the same energy. I remember I got called out for this as a United fan when I predicted us coming like 8th a few seasons ago, and then we came 3rd. Husam turned around to me and said that, well, no, you didn't overachieve. Expectations changed within the course of the season. Arsenal weren't expected to be in the title race. They were then leading by 5 points. They didn't win it. Everybody said they failed. And everyone says, no, expectations Arsenal changed throughout the course of the season. Therefore, you still fouled, even though the expectation at the beginning of the campaign was maybe to make top 4. So from a we can't suddenly now surely change the narrative again and say, well, we maintain the preseason predictions right through to the end. I thought that there was a consensus in the football YouTube world that expectations change throughout the course of the campaign. So, look, I think it's a really good debate. Obviously, Liverpool last night, though, looked very, very good indeed. They did. To beat Leverkusen as emphatically as they did, 4 goals, battered them, and barring one chance to Boniface, they didn't really create too much. The goal ruled out, obviously, for handball, deliberate handball. But yeah, Liverpool looks scintillating, so I think they're right up there. Another game last night that took place, though, Ruben Amorim's Sporting slapped Manchester City, and it was quite difficult yesterday night to speak to the City fans about it because they typically want to deflect and talk about other people's clubs. injury crises only. They want to sort of dunk on other people. They want to moan about X, Y, and Z. They never really want to get down to the football element. Big up, by the way, LB and Nobbins, who I listened to today, that spoke about it at large, and they went into intricate detail about the football issues at their club, which I think is key. But I mean, looking back on last night, Husam, I mean, it was an absolute pounding they took in the end. Yes, they went 1-0 up and they could have gone 2 or 3 up, but they missed those chances. The efforts weren't good enough. And then as soon as they conceded, they never really looked like getting back into the game. Even from 1-1 until 4-1 and the final whistle, they were thoroughly outclassed.
I mean, I didn't really watch the game, so I didn't. Obviously, I was watching my own game at the time. But the fact that obviously that Sporting beat Manchester City should ring warning bells for Man City, because this is not a result that you expect at all. I mean, even if some people expected Sporting to give them a good game, I doubt anyone, probably the most happy Sporting fan in the universe, did not predict a 4-1 to Sporting, to be honest with you. So it did come as a shock to the system. However, one thing I will say is the performances are now matching the results. And what I mean is City, by the own admission of fans like LB, said that they were lucky to beat Fulham, they were lucky to beat Brentford, they were lucky to even beat Southampton. That was stuff that City fans themselves are saying, because like the results are not matching the performances. Fulham game, Adama Traore had 2 1-on-1s. Brentford, I mean, it's a consensus that literally that was the Haaland game, in which Haaland just won them the game by himself when he bullied Pinnock that day and he scored twice. So like the performances haven't been great for them as a team. And I'm not even talking about the great expectations that we have on Manchester City. I'm just talking about in general. In general, I don't think that Manchester City have been playing well at all, to be honest with you, this season. But we all know the problem with City is eventually they do figure it out. Now, as in order for a Liverpool or an Arsenal to have a chance, Manchester City need to drop as many points as possible. And I do see them dropping even more points. Because when I did watch the goals, it's like they're almost getting killed on transitions. And the goal that should worry City fans the most is actually the goal that Sporting scored from the kickoff. There is a goal that Sporting Lisbon literally scored from kickoff, where they just passed it back, passed it around, and done all that. And then boom, directly Sporting Lisbon scored. Those are the type of goals that, like, City don't usually concede. I mean, when City concedes a goal, it's usually like unbelievable individual brilliance, stuff like that. The mistakes that they had in the penalty box, and maybe that's why I said Rodri is the correct Ballon d'Or winner, because he's the most important player for Manchester City, in my opinion. And when he's missing, like, it's like they just can't play football anymore. And yeah, like, to be honest with you, it was a shocking result. Because when I was doing my watch along, people in the chat were like 1-0 to City. I was like, here we go, and I actually wanted City to win, because I didn't want United fans to be happy. So I just wanted City to win so we could just move on with our lives. But instead, they lost 4-1. So yeah.
I'm going to tell you something about Manchester City. They have never faced this type of adversity with Rodri being out. One time they have faced this. 1920 season, when they had defenders and Fernandinho had to play center back, and we know how many points they got that season. We shouldn't just say that Pep Guardiola is going to turn it around. Yes, we cannot rule him out. Yes, we cannot say that Pep Guardiola is out of his depth and everything. But I have never seen Pep face this adversity in his career. Rodri being out, they bought Calvin Phillips, Matthias Nunes, Gundogan, Kovacic to play that role, and they failed. They should have forked the money for Declan Rice. Declan Rice could have played the 6 for them. Caicedo, Bruno Guimaraes. They didn't. They chose to go with the cheaper options, which is Matthias Nunes. And that is a massive mistake for Manchester City. A lot of City fans spoke about this, that they should have spent the money in the summer. Pep Guardiola might not be able to fix it, might not be able to find the solution for this Rodri being out. Their defense is so exposed. And I know, City will go on a run the second half of the season. Maybe if they go in January and buy Zubamendi or buy Bruno Guimaraes for 120, 130. They looked so vulnerable yesterday, similar to the day that they looked against Fulham, as Husam said, Bournemouth as well. That is a recurring issue. Yes, they have the 2 points behind Liverpool, but Pep Guardiola is trying his best. Kyle Walker is not cutting it. Rico Lewis is not cutting it. Akanji is not cutting it. Diaz is not cutting it. Stones is not cutting it. They have to find a solution for it. If we're going to speak about the football and no banter and everything, City are in crisis. They are in crisis because you cannot lose 3 games on the bounce. People are saying, against Brighton, they're not favorites. That would be 4 games on the bounce, a loss, not win. Not without a win, not draws, loss. That is, and don't tell me what Vator said yesterday, the players, they need to get together and find it. It's a tactical issue. You get beat every single game the same way. In transition, as Husam said, you lose the ball up top, which is something that Terry has spoken about many times, and I'm going to end on this. Because now they have direct wingers, these wingers don't have output. When they lose the ball, City get exposed defensively because in transition, because the wingers are not Jack Grealish or Raheem Sterling that score goals or Lorenzane. They are in that level of winger. Riyad Mahrez as well. They are wingers that go direct. Savio loses the ball, transition, they're exposed. Doku, same. Even Erling Haaland is not on top of his game. So that is the thing about it. If they don't buy a DM in January, it's a massive problem. They can lose the league for it. And I'm going to say this. If Liverpool win the league, not Arsenal, against this Pep team, it's a failure for Pep Guardiola. This season individually, it's a failure. Honestly, I didn't have any signings. And it's his first season.
But why did you say not Arsenal?
Because if they lose to Arsenal, Arsenal already has an established team. Does that make sense? 5 years in, established team. However,
I hope everyone in the chat notices the hypocrisy. Go ahead.
No, but you don't understand.
Do you have a bigger chance than Liverpool, than Arsenal to win the league?
What does this have to do
you
with
have
what
a
I'm
bigger
saying?
chance? And then when he's talking about Man City, he's like, if you lose to Arsenal, it's not embarrassing. But if you lose to Liverpool, it's embarrassing. Wow. Incredible hypocrisy there. Well done.
How is that hypocrisy? I don't think. Okay, you spoke. You
okay,
you waffled.
English.
You waffled. You waffled. Let me talk now. Let me respond to your. Halas. You didn't waffle. You are the greatest guy on earth. Let me just talk now. You're fantastic. You are fantastic. The thing about Arsenal and City, if City fall off and they go, City are still only 5 points ahead of Arsenal. Only 5 points ahead of Arsenal. If City fall off and they are toe-to-toe with Arsenal and Liverpool fall off, that is not failure for City. The reason why, because Arsenal and City both have injuries. You don't. So if they lose to
have a bigger chance than Liverpool.
No, I don't think you understand the point at all. Arsenal is an established team. Arsenal are an established team. They have the manager for 5 years. They went toe-to-toe with City. I don't think you understand the point.
Yeah, I don't understand the point.
Bro, you don't understand the point at all.
Yeah, I don't.
I think it goes all over your head.
In the first section, he spent the whole first section trying to press me, saying that Liverpool have a bigger chance than Arsenal.
Which is, I still think that, bro.
And his own words as he's speaking is, if you lose to Arsenal, it's okay. But if you lose to Liverpool, it's embarrassing. Wow.
Yes, in the general sense, is absolutely yes. I still double down on it.
In the general sense,
it's interesting.
I don't think I understand the point.
What I find interesting about that point.
I don't understand the point. I understand what you're saying.
Guys, let me just jump in for them. What I find, if I'm just sitting outside of that conversation between the two of you listening, I do find it interesting that people say it's an embarrassment for Arteta if Slot comes in year one and wins the league. That logic dictates it's an even bigger embarrassment for City to lose to that team because City are even better. I know City have won trophies, okay? But if we're just looking at this objectively from quality of team, if it's embarrassing for Arsenal to get beaten in the league by Liverpool, it must be even more embarrassing for City to get beaten in the league by a new manager. Logic dictates that has to be the truth, unless it's down to purely
Arsenal have a bigger chance
of trophies. If we're looking at it in terms of, someone said, why bigger? Well, look, it's like this, my friend. City are better than Arsenal. We agree. So if it's embarrassing that a team is finishing in front of Arsenal, how is it not embarrassing that they're finishing in front of a team that's better than Arsenal? That's all that's being said. Logically, that makes absolute sense. I reject that notion, by the way. I've said all along, I don't think it's a massive embarrassment to Arteta that a world-class squad, one of the biggest teams in the world, that actually underachieved in the last couple of seasons because the manager lost his energy, is now suddenly firing on all cylinders and amazing. I actually think if you were to sell all of Arsenal's players and sell all of Liverpool's players, I don't think there'd be a great deal of difference in terms of the money that's raised. The one thing Arsenal don't have that Liverpool do is you have 4 world-class players, at least. Do Arsenal have 4 world-class players? A lot of people would dispute no. So, however, I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy in some of those claims. On City's crisis, though, I want to say this. Rodri being out, of course, is a big miss. I remember in the mid-90s when Roy Keane did his cruciate ligament. We went on to win the league that season that he got injured. I think he played about 20 games, slightly more than, quite a few more actually than Rodri did. But we held on, maintained, won the league. Following year, we narrowly missed out to Arsenal, who did the double. It's very, very difficult indeed to do that. However, us losing that league title that season wasn't just down to Roy Keane being out. He actually returned towards the end of the season. It's why the following summer, Manchester United went out and we bought Jaap Stam because we needed the defense to be stronger. We went out the following summer and we bought Dwight York as an example. We needed more firepower up front. And the firepower up front, or the lack thereof for Man City, is genuinely I'm miffed as to why the media don't talk about it. Because when it's Man United's attackers not scoring, problem. If Arsenal's attackers are not scoring, problem. If Chelsea's attackers are not scoring, problem. With City's, barring Erling Haaland, the rest of them have been horrendous and have always been horrendous at the club. Foden hasn't. He's in bad form. KDB's out. Doku's never been a producer. Savio's new, but still no goals so far this season for him. Isn't good enough for a player of his ability in a team as good as Man City. And we all know Jack Grealish's problems as well. That, for me, is as big an issue as the hole in the midfield. Because in most of the games that we've watched City play badly in, they have had so many opportunities. And if those players will have delivered, put the ball in the back of the net, had those moments of brilliance, City would be in an even stronger position than they are now. So I do think the Rodri hole is there. Yes, they've got a few injuries at the back, but City, they're calling it an injury crisis. They have no more injuries than any other team does in the Premier League. Most of the top Premier League teams at the moment, 3 or 4 players out injured. Sort of City are talking about it like it's the biggest crisis in the world. It isn't. You know, if they maybe had like Chelsea and Man United did last year, 13 to 16 players out almost concurrently for the whole season, fair enough. But they don't. You know, they've got Rodri out. Well, Jack Grealish is out right now, but the man don't deliver anyway. He doesn't score or assist. I mean, it's the same. You might as well give an academy player a chance. Who else is out? I mean, Stones and Diaz have been around for the... It's not like been out for weeks and months. It's literally just now that they've gone out. They're ignoring the performances that came before it. And I do think one of the biggest issues, and I know City fans don't like to call out their players. They don't like to call out their manager. They don't like to call out their club. But the recruitment to replace previous legends, so Mahrez's, Raheem Sterling's, forget the ability. I'm talking the output, even though Mahrez's ability is amazing. They haven't replaced them well enough. They have not replaced those individuals. It was a mistake in the summer to bring back Gundogan. He's just aged out. He's aged out and gone to a slower league for a year. He's come back and he's just a shadow of the player that he was before. Again, City are one of the most well-run clubs in Europe, but doesn't mean you can't call out their mistakes. They have, by and large, in the last couple of seasons, recruited horrendously. They really have. Nunez ain't good enough. Phillips isn't good enough. Kovacic isn't good enough. Who else they got? Doku so far hasn't been good enough. He started off like a freight train, loads of skill, but no output. Savio so far, he's very new, so give him some time, but hasn't been good enough. Jack Grealish has never been that great a signing. He was carried by Haaland, KDB, Foden, Mahrez, Alvarez scoring the goals. He kind of got away with it. It got protected, and that's fair enough. But we always said that as soon as the goals dry up or they start to struggle, that will become a focus for their fans. They'll start to care about it a little bit more. And as much as in January they might need to go and buy a Zubimendi, I think they need more firepower up front as well. They need someone else. Julian Alvarez, what did he score last year? 20 goals for him? I swear he's got about
something like that on all comps.
Yeah, so you're talking someone, look, respects Kovacic. Kovacic is a good player, but you need better than good right now. You need very good to top class. Good is okay. Good is okay if you're surrounded by 2 or 3 top class players. You're not. And by the way, with KDB is one of the greatest midfielders in Premier League history. I have nothing but respect for him, and I never slag him off, and I never put him down. But he is aging out. His body is breaking down. He might be your savior this season when he comes back. But there's a reason he's been used sparingly in the last couple of games, and it's very likely his body breaks down again. January comes, City have got to go out and spend big on class players because they've got holes all over this squad, which 2 years ago you never would have predicted. But it's happening. And I think City fans have got to wake up and smell the coffee. This isn't just Rodri being out that's causing you a problem. It really... Rodri was almost the band-aid to the problem because he would make you so hard to break down and he would score some goals for you. You remove that band-aid and a lot more problems are rising to the surface, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
but this
yeah,
is a challenge
big
for Pep
crisis.
Guardiola to get out of this position because
True.
this doesn't happen often. Probably in his career, I don't think this happens often where he has like this many players out and not many replacements and stuff. And to be honest with you, I think they're exaggerating a little bit their injury crisis because literally yesterday Guardiola played and their centre backs are fit and stuff. So this whole everyone's out is just not true. And the thing is, like, all the fans of all like the clubs that have competed with Man City, like Liverpool and Arsenal, when we did have injuries, we were told to get over it and we bottled it. So it's not, I'm not going to sit up here and show any sympathy towards Manchester City. You spent about 2 billion on the squad. You should be have a squad to compete. Kovacic actually has been one of the better midfielders in the league this season, probably the third best midfielder in the league in general, you know, to be honest with you. So he's having actually a great year, but he alone is playing over there. Bernardo Silva's been trash. Gundogan has come back not as good as he was before. So I'm not going to give City any excuses, to be honest with you. I don't give a fuck if like 10 players are out. That's a you problem. That's not a me problem, because when we had 3 centre backs out till May, people said we're the worst retaining champions
Klopp,
ever.
And I blame Klopp for that. And I blame Klopp for that because you guys go back and look at that season. You were only really collapsing and dropping points when he was playing his centre backs, his midfielders as centre backs. As soon as he put his midfield back together and played the likes of Nate Phillips and co at centre back, they started winning again.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have won the league even if we played Phillips and Reece Williams.
You don't know. You don't know that. The thing is,
I do know that because they're inexperienced centre backs.
The facts of the matter were, when you were playing midfielders in centre back roles, you were losing more points than when you put proper centre backs in that position and maintain the rest of your team's continuity and structure. Klopp got it wrong. He tried to do something and it didn't work. And this is where you do look. I agree with you. You've got to look at Pep in the same way. You know, Man United lost Roy Keane, a huge injury for us in 1996-97 season. Fergie found a way to go and win the league that year. That's what the great managers do. Now, Pep is a great manager. He really, really is. But I'm not making this as a statement of fact. I'm stating it based on my knowledge, and I never profess to know everything about football. I don't remember Pep having a situation like this. I can't remember the last time, and put the context together. I don't remember the last time he had this kind of injury problem in a league where there's 2 or 3 or 4 teams capable of finishing ahead of him. Genuinely, like it can't have happened in Spain because typically there's only one team that could finish above Barcelona. It rarely happens in Germany because Bayern Munich is so strong. And I don't remember the last time in England Pep had these injury problems and sort of squad issues at large with people not being good enough, and had 2 or 3 teams that were capable of finishing above him, and he fixed it. So I'm intrigued to see what Pep does. We know he's a great. I'm sure.
Yeah, but even 2 years ago when Saliba was out at the end of the season and Arsenal had to play holding and they dropped points, people weren't giving Arsenal sympathy. That's the thing. Listen, don't come up here and ask for sympathy for your club and ask for different energies, because you just that's what you just did. Like you did that to other clubs, so we're not gonna sit up here and give you sympathy. I don't give a fuck how many City players are out.
Zero sympathy. And as I said, a few people saying, what am I trying to say? If it wasn't clear, I'll say it again. I'm intrigued to see how Pep handles this. You know, he's seen as one of the greatest of all time. And I think when it comes down to sorting out the greatest of all time, it's moments of adversity that play a big part in that. And as I've stated, I've seen my manager in 96-97 work through this scenario and go on to win a league title as an example. I've seen him do that. So I am now intrigued to see what Pep Guardiola does in this situation, because if he finds a solution, they get back to their very best. He gets the Savios and Doku's contributing with goals. If he finds a midfield that makes them harder to break down, they go on to win the league. It's a component that adds to his legacy. And I'm intrigued to see whether he can do it. I really, really am. I also think it will be detrimental to his legacy. Now, it's not going to knock him down from the great pedestal, the greatest levels. I'm just talking about differentiating within that, because he should find a solution. And I don't just think he should be given, he had injuries, because no other manager in the last 5, 6, 7 years has been allowed to have the excuse of injuries. And we're certainly not going to sit here and allow Pep to get that, in my personal opinion.
No one had that excuse for the last 10 years. No one's been saying, oh, this guy was injured, that guy was injured. No one gives a shit, bro. You don't deliver, that's a you problem.
And also, no one here can deny that City have the most money. They keep saying we don't have any problem with money, so no one is stopping you from spending and getting the players. You have a small squad. It's a manager's choice. It's very simple, brother. It's a manager's choice not to
renew Kai Walker guy as well. And by the way, the thing that Mo says about manager's choice against Bournemouth, Rico Lewis was fit. I knew what Hamza was saying in the post-match reaction was waffle because Rico Lewis played the whole game yesterday, I think. Or he was.
You know that yesterday Kai Walker and Ake could have played. It's a manager's choice yesterday not to play Ake or Kyle Walker. It's your choice.
So how can I blame like the injuries for a tactical decision? That's a you problem, Habibi. That's not my problem.
Oh, they did not fit.
Kyle Walker has dropped off a cliff like they act. Play Rico Lewis then. Brighton's
Man City have no excuses. Pep Guardiola have no excuses. You are in the biggest club now in terms of revenue, or the second biggest club in terms of revenue after Real Madrid. You have money. You have no problem spending a lot of money, right? So you spent 100. What is Jack Grealish is? Pop, pass back. Where is he? Where is he gone? He's injured. Wait to see a comeback. Is he gonna be better than Doku and Savio? Everyone raved about Savio. We'll see the second half of the season. And listen, the problem with Manchester City is that Liverpool have a small squad. Liverpool need to keep winning. I don't trust Arsenal to go ahead of them now with the way they play. City at the end can win the league with less than 90 points.
I'm not even trying to catch you out, but you need to understand 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah, Habibi, there's difference between now and the beginning of the season.
Because you're listening to respond. Listen to understand. Your statement, I'm going to speak 20 seconds. Your statement in the first section is, Husam, do you have a bigger chance than Arsenal? Therefore, indirectly stating that Liverpool are a better team than Arsenal now. One second. In the section after that, you're saying, if City loses to Liverpool, it's embarrassing, but if they lose to Arsenal, it's okay. Which by definition means that Arsenal are better than Liverpool.
Okay, can I explain it once for all so we can move on from this? This statement is before a ball is kicked in the Premier League. Now, in the circumstances now, it is different. You need to understand the difference between before the ball is... Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. Let me explain. Don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you. No, because I need to get my point across so people can understand that what you're talking about. Before the season started, Arsenal should be the team going against City and Liverpool should be third, as you stated.
Yeah, I agree, yes.
That's it. So that statement is the season as a whole. We're analyzing the season today. The season today, Husam, is different than the beginning of the season. You yourself were slot out before the season started. So that statement applies for the whole season. That is my point. Khalas,
I wasn't slot out before the season started. That was due when the announcement happened. That's it.
No, I get where you guys are coming from on that. On the Pep thing, I just want to point this out as well, right? While you boys were talking, I went and did some research because I knew there was a season. I couldn't remember which one it was because time test the memory. Man United won the league in the 2010-2011 season. United was so injury plagued that campaign. It was genuinely ridiculous. And I went back and found the numbers from that as an example. So Gary Neville was only fit to play 3 games that season. I think he ended up retiring. Rio Ferdinand only played 19 games as an example. Michael Owen was our backup striker, but he was only fit to start 1 league game that year. Anderson only played 14 games that season. Even Berbatov only 24 games that season. Rooney only 25 games that season. You had Chris Smalling that suffered loads of injuries that year when they were trying to bled him in as one of the main centre backs. Only 11 times did he start. Park Ji-sung only 13 times could he start that season. Michael Carrick had quite a number of injuries and missed a lot of Premier League games as well. Paul Scholes only 16 games throughout the course of that season. Fabio and Rafael da Silva 20 games between them that season. Johnny Evans only 11 games that season as an example. That was the campaign, I think, where Antonio Valencia broke his leg, or it might have been when he returned from the leg break later on that season. So it was either one of the two. So he missed out a lot of games in that campaign. And the reason I bring that up is because Man United still went on to win the league. And there are examples of that. I mentioned it right back in the 90s. I remember that more clearly because Keane's injury was so massive and it was such a significant injury as well because of its connection, ironically, to Haaland's father. Because of what happened before and after. But this is what I mean. The greats find ways to do it. They don't always, but they have gone and done it. And I'm intrigued to see what Pep Guardiola does in this scenario itself. This here says, is Rodri's injury having the same impact on City that Van Dijk's injury? Sorry, I'm really confused here. Basically saying, is it having the same impact on City that Van Dijk's had?
Once again, guys,
Liverpool?
can we stop rewriting history? That season, it wasn't just Van Dijk out of the end season. It was Van Dijk, it was Gomez, and it was Matip. So it was all three centre-backs out. This is equivalent of Rodri, Kovacic, and whoever else other than Kevin De Bruyne out to the end of the season. So it's not the same thing. Now, in terms of impact, yes, of course, it's a massive impact, 100%. Rodri won the Ballon d'Or, I think rightfully so. He deserved to win it. And at the end of the day, I'm looking at Manchester City, and I think they don't click without Rodri the way that they do with him. That's the thing.
History lesson off Terry, but I suppose it is a history lesson, because at the same time, I've heard stuff like this in the last few days, right? I've heard stuff like this and it pisses me off.
So if Alex Ferguson never left Manchester United, how many titles would he have won against your beloved Pep?
How many did Ferguson win in the end at United? 13. Was it 13? So he'd be on 13.
Oh, really?
So like, he wouldn't win a single one. Like the last.
Why?
Ferguson's a brilliant manager. He's probably the greatest, in the history of English football. And arguably, I would say Pep's getting there. And I can't deny his record, but I do feel a lot of what Ferguson did, like, it was sort of that time and of that era.
And he goes on to say a lot more about, tactically inept and everything else. And first of all, I saw that and thought, well, the reason he's considered the greatest is because he started in the 70s and was still relevant in the year 2013. So the idea that if he was young enough to continue, the idea that he wouldn't have adapted again in this last decade when he adapted in the previous four is utterly an horrendous take to have. To say that he wouldn't have won one of these. I mean, he'd have won the league the following season and he'd have 14, right? He really would have won the league the year after that, as an example. But I see things like this and it annoys me, because managers of Fergie's era, and you can go back, and this protects Liverpool as well, for Liverpool fans that want to fight me on this, it probably protects your era even more in the 70s and 80s, that those teams were playing similar amounts of games with much smaller and thinner squads. So rotation was more key, and one or two injuries to major players in that time was far more significant than you saw now. Squads are much thicker and deeper since sort of the Champions League started to change and there was more money in the late noughties, and the new TV deal money came in 2012. All of the big clubs have been able to build thicker and stronger. Prospectively speaking, of course, United squad hasn't been as good, but across the English teams, you'd say all 6 teams have probably had stronger squads in the last decade than they did in the previous 2 put together. So I do think it's significant to talk about these things, because I often see Sir Alex Ferguson's legacy get diminished. And if Fergie's legacy gets diminished, it means everybody that was considered at his level or slightly below him is also having theirs diminished at the same time. And I think it's bullshit. I think it's recency bias. And I don't think we spend enough time talking about this personally. I really, really don't. So that's why I brought it up, if I'm being honest with you. This here says, why are we having this conversation like we didn't have the same conversation exactly at this time last year? Pep always has a way out. Liverpool or Arsenal are not winning the Premier League.
Yeah, because people like these two trying to press me at the start to try say something about Liverpool. But the truth of the matter is, Manchester City, even with this whole crisis thing, are only 2 points behind me. And if we drop points to Aston Villa, and if we drop points to Aston Villa and they beat Brighton, then they're above us. So this whole conversation, it's too early. It's November.
So what if you beat Aston Villa and they lose then? Why is the other way around? Is not a possibility.
They are like 10, 15 points behind. I get it. But right now, it's too early. That's it.
You know what I mean? Husam, to be honest with you, you're saying if we drop points to Aston Villa, everything can happen in football. And if City win against Brighton. But the more likely outcome of these 2 games is you winning against Aston Villa at Anfield, and they are losing to Brighton away from home like they did against Sporting and against Bournemouth. And you'll be 5 points ahead of them. And at that time, you're not favorites because it's game week 11. It's too early to say that. But you'll have a good chance of going on and winning more games. Especially because they're coming to your ground.
Angry? Don't get angry. What's the more likely?
Because you're a smart guy.
What's the more likely outcome? Chelsea winning at Anfield or Forest winning at Anfield?
Chelsea.
Chelsea winning at Anfield or Forest winning at Anfield?
Chelsea.
I agree with you. Forest won at Anfield, then Chelsea didn't.
But okay, do you think that was a blip or not a blip?
No, of course. 10 games later, of course, it's a blip. But I'm saying,
thank you. That is the whole point. It doesn't. It's not a repetitive thing. The difference between you and City.
Yeah, this is correct. It's not repetitive. But the other 2 games they lost were not Premier League.
Okay, but what happening to City? Yes. But
yeah, they lost one in the UCL, one in the Carabao Cup. Yeah, and it's not.
Do you believe? Okay, but do you believe that City will go to Brighton and win the game?
No, I think they will drop points this Saturday.
That's the whole point. Do you believe you're going to win against Villa?
Yes.
So the crisis continues. I'm not trying to catch you out here. I'm not trying to say you're favorites because you know
can't
why?
Catch me out because it's November.
Because okay, stop doing exactly. Thank you so much.
It's however, early, Mo. Who says I'm gonna be champion in November? Yeah, relax.
No one said you're gonna be champions, but this crisis for Pep.
But I told you we're gonna challenge in August.
The people that keep saying that Pep will find out, will figure it out. Yes, he might. But the last time Pep faced something like this, they got 81 points. Rodri's out
that's
for a year. People
you want to know how Liverpool can win the league? If we pull away.
That's it. 8, 9, 10 points. Yes.
No, listen. If we pull away, meaning by the time City get their act together, we're 15 points above. That way, khalas, you can't catch me. Because in the second half of the season, we go to Villa away, we go to Brighton away, we play City at the Etihad. We have Arsenal at Anfield. We get to Stamford Bridge.
I can't believe we're having this debate again. 3 times in the same show.
Okay.
I do hear you. I want to point out this comment here that says, Terry, where's it gone? Why have I lost it? Terry, there were more games now, though. I went and checked. I just went, case in point, Man United in the 2008-2009 season, we played 66 games. I used that season because we got to a Champions League final in it. City's treble winning season, so obviously they played the most amount of games. You played 60 games. The idea that there is now so many more games, again, it's another fallacy. There's teams that go deep into all 4 competitions in England are playing high 50s to high 60s in totality every single season. It's always been the case. The seasons where like you go out in the last round of 16 of a Champions League and go out early in the cups and oh look, we were only playing sort of 50 games back then. Well, that's because you flopped. If you go deep into the competitions, you play more games. The idea there's loads more now isn't true. What happens more now though is your team goes on pre-season and post-season tours. There's 1 extra international break as well, which means there's 2 more international games. So it's again the idea there's suddenly like 20 more fixtures now than there used to be. It's just a weird fallacy that's been created. I don't know by whom. As of today, I'm slot out. Run that clip, Terry. We did that earlier, my friend. But hear me out. Even City or Liverpool won't be at the top if they had 3 red cards with a side of 2 suspensions the next match and injuries. Arsenal still in it. Well, this is what's interesting about the analysis. If City
I disagree because Liverpool were top of the league with Klopp last season with 4 red cards in 9 games.
Okay, but I don't necessarily think that's the point. I think the point is if City get a pass for having players out, why would Arsenal be criticised for dropping points when they have players out? Regardless of why a player's missing, it's still, you can criticise the discipline, but I think a lot of pundits and media outlets talk out of both sides of their mouths. Some clubs definitely get excuses when they've got players out and others don't. And I think it's wrong. You've got to be fair.
No, Terry, I agree with you that some get excuses, some no. At this point, 100%, you're correct. But one thing I'll tell you about Arsenal is what works against them is the Newcastle game. That's the game where everyone's like, yo, you had 11v11. No one was sent off. There was no referee controversies and you had 1 shot on target. Now, if the same happens against Chelsea, 11v11, no controversy, nothing, and Chelsea beat you 2-0 and you look like shit, that's when you have to look at the manager.
But I don't think there is a difference. The difference is this: City have had games earlier on this season where they had all their players available and they still look sloppy. They might just got over the line. I swear Rodri played when Inter outclassed them at their ground. I swear Rodri played that game. I think that the point there remains. I still think that some clubs just get given excuses when things aren't going right or they've got suspensions or injuries, and other clubs, they use it to condemn them. And I don't really like that from the media, if I'm being honest with you. Yes, Liverpool have a better chance to win. Currently on the best form, destroying teams in the Champions League. Come on now, they are so far the best team.
You know, Ghost, your fan base have been complaining about playing Mikel Merino when you have injuries. I have Wataru Endo to bring on. Wataru Endo is a good player, yes, but we saw what happened last season, so we need to take a step back. By the way, you put up Rishwan's super chat, but you forgot to read it because we had a conversation mid thing. So, because he was supporting my point, so it's important we read the super chat as well.
Oh, I don't know where it's gone. And KJ's not backstage. I've got no one who's re-starring the. I don't actually know where KJ is today. So yeah, there we go. We're going to get through these last couple of super chats because I don't want to run out of time today. This is, yes, we are worse because of injuries and players not putting the effort in. Interesting. It is an interesting take. Before we move on and talk about the Arsenal Inter game later, which I'm very excited to watch tonight, why have you seen the comments today from a lot of the media sort of discrediting Ruben, saying that last night's result means nothing in relation to him joining Manchester United? Nothing should be read into what he's been doing in Portugal. Nothing should be read into how well that his team has been doing, how he's developed players. What do you both? I'll start with Mo on this. What do you make of those kind of comments from Sky Sports, TNT Sports, and TalkSport that will kind of push that narrative in the last 24 hours?
Rubbish, absolute rubbish. They are associating him with Erik ten Hag's appointment, and we already debunked that before. This is crazy. Have you watched the game yesterday? The guy outclassed Pep Guardiola in more than 45 minutes. Tactically speaking, he literally outclassed Pep. No wonder he goes Sporting. I watched about 2-3 games of Sporting Lisbon this season. He looks so good tactically, and yet he's not going to get his players in at United. But also United don't have like completely a rubbish player. There are players that can play football at Manchester United. I think he's going to do well, and for some reason the media aren't giving him credit. I don't know why. Maybe people are scared to get caught or something like that, or just say something outrageous. But I think just people are very afraid of giving the credit to Man United for landing Amorim. A lot of people said that Man United will not be able to land a manager like Ruben Amorim mid-season. To get him away from Sporting Lisbon, who are top of the league and in the Champions League mid-season, is something that I'll give the board credit to convince him. Money or not money, convince the guy. You're muted.
No, I'm not. You're waffling.
I didn't hear you. Why am waffling then?
How you didn't hear me and then you heard me say I'm waffling?
I'm just heard you now. When you were talking before, I didn't hear.
Last season, mid-title race, he went to do an interview with West Ham. And he had to come out and apologize to the Sporting Lisbon fans. Sporting Lisbon is not like where we need to. Arsenal could have done the same thing. Liverpool could have done the same thing. Chelsea could have done the same thing. Spurs could have done the same thing. Credit to them for selecting the right manager, because I do think he will make a difference. But I'm not going to credit them for getting him out of Sporting, because obviously Man United are a lot more attractive than Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah, but he had other offers. There was talk about him joining Man City after Pep leaves. There were talks about him being attracted to other clubs, Husam. That's the whole point.
Yeah, but
there was talks about him going. Nothing is guaranteed. But for Man United, listen, I told you, like there were talks in Portugal that people are asking him to wait for the Man City decision. For Man United to go and convince him, don't wait for anyone. Come join. I don't know if it's money or not money. Don't wait for Man City. Come join our club now. Rebuild and all this talk. It's credit to them.
Okay, are we crediting Man United for getting Amorim?
Yes.
Okay, I agree with you because he's the correct manager. But yesterday's win does not mean anything for Man United in general.
It does.
You get what I'm saying? Because we have seen clubs.
Let me ask you a question. Let me just stop you on that. Let me ask you a question. So if Liverpool sign, I've got to think of a really good player, Zubimendi tomorrow. Does that mean his performances for Real Sociedad mean nothing for Liverpool?
Players is different, Terry.
Why?
Tell you why players are different. If Zubimendi has an unbelievable game against Manchester City, then he can have that impact on the football pitch. When it comes to Amorim, it's a more complex situation with managers, because you need the whole club to be pulling in the same direction. You get what I'm saying? So it's like a rebuild and a fix and correct decision making. I'm saying you are correct for getting Amorim because he's a fantastic manager, and I think he will be a difference maker for Man United. But yesterday's win in a prism does not mean that you have got the right manager. The reason why you got the right manager is because he wins league titles with his best players sold. He has rebuilt his team and won a league title. He's currently top of the Portuguese league. Sporting Lisbon did not win a league title for 20 years before him. Those are the actual reasons. But
yesterday is a showcase of
him beating Manchester City on a Champions League day is not a reason why he's a good
but
manager.
it's a showcase for his tactical ability and how he's playing.
I totally agree, Mo. I agree with your point, Husam, that I don't think he's just going to walk in, and we played him on the 15th of December. I don't think that he's going to walk in and we're going to do that to them. I don't think we're going to beat them 4-1. I don't think that we're going to dominate them for a half, maybe. I'd love to, but I don't know if we will. However, and I agree that it's going to take time to get to that level. But the fact that we've seen him outclass Pep, the fact that we have seen him win league titles, dominate his league, win doubles, win his club's first titles in 20 years. Other facts about him I didn't know until I started researching is that he's been appointed by 2 different clubs when he didn't even have the right licensing. This is how good he was, that the clubs risks fines by appointing him as the assistant manager, hiring a manager or a head coach as a proxy, but he was still running the team as the assistant. So I think it is a good thing for Man United because we know that we've got somebody that has the potential to be excellent. And of course, there'll be the usual drivel, the sort of, and I call it it's like reading the Sun newspaper, sort of, but you all thought that Ten Hag was a good coach. He is, but he came in when the structure wasn't like this. He didn't come in with proper footballing people making footballing decisions. And listen, at every single step, this is why I'm confident. You've always got to look at what the media and rivals are saying and doing. And whenever we were hiring people, or whenever the likes of sort of Ed Woodward and co were making decisions, everybody would laugh and go, "Way, another bit of stupidity, or another noodle deal, another bit of money being wasted." And they ended up being right. No one's saying that now. In fact, what they're trying to do is get really salty. And that for me is the element that I like in this. There has been fundamental change at the club. A new structure is in place. A head coach is now there. They're going to run it. It's going to take time, and I'm very, very aware of that. But it's an absolutely ridiculous statement to say that what Ruben Amorim has achieved, right down to the brilliance of his team last night, and they didn't win by fluke. They won because of the system that is implemented. To say that there is no sort of positive in that for Man United, zero. I'm not saying 100% positive. I'm not saying it's going to happen on day one. To say zero positivity for Man United out of that, I just think it's an absolute stretch, if I'm being honest. To say
it's not at all. I said there is zero. Nothing as a Man United fan you can take from yesterday. The reason why you hired Amorim is a lot bigger than yesterday.
Nonsense. But I didn't just say yesterday. But you're now misrepresenting what I said, and I've got to stop you. I didn't just say what he did yesterday. I said what he did yesterday, coupled with everything else. I'm talking about what the media has said. I've sat there and listened to their interviews, their debates, their podcasts, and it's essentially yesterday means nothing. In fact, what he's done means nothing. He's going into a new world, in a new league, and in a new team. But again, when Liverpool hired Jurgen Klopp, I didn't hear these same media outlets go, "It's done brilliantly at Dortmund," but it means nothing at Liverpool because he hasn't done it in the Prem. No one said that. Everybody went, "That's a good manager. That's a good manager." Why is it when Man United hire a manager, we're the only club in the Premier League where that manager's history gets wiped out and means nothing to us?
No one is saying that. No one is saying that.
That's what you just said. It's what you just said.
I'm wiping out yesterday's 90 minutes, not the history. When I ask you a very simple question, do you
then why only limit the competition to last night when that isn't how it was framed in the beginning?
Okay, I'll answer the question. Do you rate Jurgen Klopp highly?
Yes, always did.
Gasperini beat him 3-0 last season and he won the Europa League. Would you take him at your club?
I think Gasperini's a very good manager, yeah.
I wouldn't take Gasperini at my club because he failed at bigger clubs. So there are always other... The reason why Man United should get Amorim, and it's the correct decision, is because the guy went to a club that did not win a league title for 20 years, won a league title, then let his best players be sold, and then won the league title again after rebuilding, and is currently top of the Portuguese league.
But this is the point, Husam. But you're landing your repeating what I've said. You're right. We agree. So you agree with me and Mo then.
Yesterday's game does not mean anything.
But you're doing the same thing they're doing. We're not talking about the game in isolation. We're talking about the game coupled with everything else is a positive for Man United. If he was our new manager, and by the way, Gasperini, Atalanta are doing really, really well in the league again at the moment. I think he's a very talented manager. The point is, if Sporting have been bang average for the last 5 years, up and down, not really winning anything, and they pulled off that performance, and then we went and hired him off the back of it, I'd agree. But that isn't what we've done. We've hired him based on all the things you've said, plus what he did last night was quite special. When you put it all together as a package, to say that there isn't something for United fans to be excited about and that none of it could potentially come across to us is crazy. And I'm talking again what they've said. Zero, they said. Zero correlation. And that for me is completely disingenuous.
Okay, Sam, can I ask a question? Can I, and before you land on, you spoke a lot and you keep repeating the same thing.
If Sporting Lisbon lost, if they lost 4-1 to Man City yesterday, would that have a negative impact then on the Amorim appointment?
No, it wouldn't. Not over. No. Again, but you're doing what the mainstream. You're being the Sun newspaper, Husam. You're doing what they did. The media, though, who had lost last night, would have said, bloody hell, United, look who you're hiring. You just got battered. And I don't think last night in isolation is what Man United fans are solely impressed with. It's the whole package that you have just said. So the fact is you're like disagreeing with us, but your argument is exactly what we're saying. It's very strange.
No, my argument is the game last night has zero impact, win, lose, or draw.
Nonsense.
On Ruben
no, nonsense. Nonsense, because the win last night was based on all the other stuff you're praising him for, what he's built. It wasn't a flash in the pan win. Therefore, it does matter. Unless you're saying it's a flash in the pan win, then I agree with you. But you're not. You're saying what he's built is amazing.
More than likely, it is a flash in the pan win. You know why? Because these Manchester City have not lost a Champions League game for a really long time, and
we haven't faced Sporting Lisbon before.
We have seen repeatedly in the Champions
League. Not this Sporting Lisbon.
We have seen repeatedly in the Champions League the contenders for the Champions League losing to lower, like down clubs, like Madrid losing to Sheriff Tiraspol. Like when we won the Champions League, we lost to Red Star Belgrade, bro. Like sometimes you do get these results. I'm saying Amorim is a fantastic hire. You did the right thing. You brought in the correct manager, and he can rebuild Man United. But to say that the result yesterday has any impact on any of this, your argument is it has a small impact. My argument is it has no impact. Even if he lost 4-0 yesterday, it's still a good hire.
No one said, by the way, you're absolutely twisting the words. No one said the impact. The decision was already made. The result yesterday is a showcase of how brilliant he is tactically against one of the best managers in the world and one of the best teams in the world that haven't lost in a while in the Champions League. I think that's what you're missing. Man United hired the coach. That coach went against Pep, smashed him 4-1 against Man City and Pep. And it's very simple. He deserves praise for that game.
100%
because that is the whole point, Husam.
Yeah,
it doesn't impact.
I know it doesn't have an impact on Man United. What's the
bro, that is.
It's not the direct
talk, Terry, just please.
Sorry, Mo. Go on, Mo.
Just one word, Husam. No one has ever said impact. No one said ever they were gonna change the decision if he lost 6-1. No one said they're gonna give him more money because he won 4-1. All our people are asking is that does this game affect how Man United look at the manager? Fans? Yes, it does. Because now they saw their manager go against the best manager in the league and school him on the pitch. So they have all the right to be happy. That's all we would say.
I understand where Terry's coming from, because Terry's point is the mainstream media, if Sporting lost 4-1 yesterday, would have said future Man United manager gets slapped 4-1 by Pep. I get that point. I'm saying us, as people looking at this hire and this appointment, whatever had happened last night, it does not matter. Fans of Man United should not be excited or unexcited or like brought down or depressed, regardless of the result yesterday. Amorim is a fantastic manager for all the bigger reasons than yesterday.
Do you know where I slightly disagree with that? Slightly. And again, I'm talking about here, I'm not making any, like I've said, I don't think last night results is an indication that United are going to do this straight away. Equally, I think that it does hold some value at Man United. Ten Hag had quite a big habit, and maybe we ignore this as fans, of sort of collapsing in some games, emptying his midfield, struggled in some finals. There was a number of games, obviously the famous one against Spurs. And a lot of us and a lot of the media in that analysis just sort of said, yes, Ajax, though, isn't it? It's Ajax up against clubs with more money and more power and that are better. When it came to Man United, we saw those issues and problems. So I think that unless Ruben is going to completely change his approach at Man United, I don't think he necessarily will. I think there'll be adaptations, but I don't think it's going to be a complete U-turn from his philosophy. I think we can take something out of it. But you can take things out of losses as well, though. And this is why I don't like the idea that what he's achieved in the last 3 or 4 years means nothing to Man United. You can look at the way someone approaches games, even when they lose. And he said it himself, that when they got beat 5-0, when he was very new to Sporting, they got beat 5-0 by City. And he said the comment, and I went back and found it, and their fans were clapping him off the pitch because they saw how they were trying to play, and they saw there was something there that they could grow from. And obviously, no one in England gave a shit because City won 5-0, and Sporting went on to be the best team in their country for the past couple of years. And I think there's something in that at times. And it's why I always say as fans, the more we do this as a job, and the more we talk to each other, the more we learn, the more we start to understand. And I think there is a lot that could be gauged from multiple games from this manager, not least what we could come to expect as Man United fans. And what I learned last night, I actually thought his team were being a bit too respectful to City to begin with. But what I really liked is that they know how to defend and be resolute and hard to break down. They did that in the second. They didn't in the beginning of the game. They were a bit too respectful. They were getting caught out. And I thought, oh, God, I was a bit worried. I'm not going to lie. And then I saw a team that became really compact and hard to break down. And I thought, there we go. Shows he could do it. And again, he's got to do that multiple times. Listen, I'm excited. It's going to be very, very interesting to see him at United. Some more super chats here. Going back to one I missed earlier. Sorry, from Vishwen, who says, Liverpool have lost the league twice by 1 point. How can Husam be confident we will be champions in November? I'm with you, Husam. Let's be consistent.
Yes. Thank you, Rishwan. I appreciate it. Terima kasih. Big up to you, my brother. Listen, that's all I'm saying. It's November. Listen, let's all keep the same energy. All three of us, let's not make sweeping statements. I'm relaxed right now. I don't have a bigger chance than anyone. I'm just relaxed. 3 months ago, we were finished. Jurgen Klopp left and we signed no one. Let's just chill.
There we go. Patrick here says, Amorim is definitely a good manager. The issue is United's squad. Listen, Patrick, I won't worry about Man United's squad. That for me is, I keep seeing everyone talk about it. I'm not worried about the squad. It's going to be improved over the next 2 or 3 years. But I'm not worried about it because it's something that we can't impact massively in the short term. So it's almost something that you almost have to park. You have to park it to the side and look at how we're trying to play versus who we have in the positions, because there's nothing that can be done. We cannot get rid of 15 players in January, 15 players in the summer. So I get your point, but it's not something I'm stressed about. I'm more stressed about the style, the shape, how hard we are to beat, and then how we start to look in the attack. If we're then making mistakes, but we can see it's personnel, great. It's not a bad place to be. Just replace the people, replace the squad. So I personally am not worried about our squad. Not because I think it's good enough, but because it's something that's almost, we can't control that quickly and change that quickly. So they say in life that don't stress about things that you don't really have a lot of control over. And you can only change your squad in Januaries and in the summers. And even then, 5, 6, 7 out and in at a time, max, for it to really have some kind of chemistry. So there's no point stressing too much about it, in my personal opinion. Luke here says, hit the like button. Yes, get that done. We're closing in on 1,000 likes. Let's get that smash, please. We lost one fair match, Sam. So did you to Forest, is what Ghost says here.
One fair match. Hey, if we had 10 men versus Bournemouth, I'm expecting to win too.
I hope my team wins tonight against Inter. How are you feeling about the game? How are you feeling about the game?
You know
tonight,
what?
Mo?
Every time I speak to an Arsenal fan, they say, we hope, I hope. No one believes, their fan believes that they're going to get smashed, bro. And I believe, to be honest with you, even though we're resting people, I still believe like we're going to win by 2+ goal margin, if not more. This Arsenal thing this season, and in the beginning of the season, we were like talking about Arsenal. I cannot hype Arsenal, or I cannot talk any positive. Arsenal this season are being rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Every time they opened up their defense and tried to play expensive football, they conceded goals. Bro, Gabriel and Saliba have been opened up every time they play the high line. Haaland in the City game, Isak, Southampton, Leicester. Everyone, when they open up, score. So the best option for them is to park the bus and try to play counter-attack, hoof ball forward, hoping that Kai Havertz will get something. This Arsenal team, to be honest, nowadays aren't scary at all. They're absolute, bro. If you watch them now, no creativity, nothing happening. You mark Saka, they're just an average, mediocre team at the current moment. If you mark Bukayo Saka, no one else can do something on the pitch. They got Ben White. Who they got up top? Havertz. Do we think Havertz is gonna do something against Inter defense, bro? Havertz, to be honest with you, he can do something here and there against other teams. But reality is, Arsenal are so mediocre at the current moment. Stats show that Spurs are better than them in every single. I'm being serious. Spurs at the current moment, every underlying better offense, better defense. Yes, they are 2 points behind them, but Arsenal against Spurs won by a set piece. Spurs should have been ahead of Arsenal. See, I'm not discounting set pieces, but Spurs were the better team. Spurs actually play better football in the current moment than Arsenal. That's the reality. Chelsea play better football than Arsenal. They're inconsistent, but they play better football than Arsenal. No one is speaking about how bad Arsenal have been this season. Red cards or not red cards, I don't care. If you are as good as you are, you go to Bournemouth away and you win. At home against Brighton, you win the game. You don't sit back and defend for the rest of the game, hoping that Brighton will not score. Right? The only game that they absolutely went for it is the Aston Villa game from the big games they played. Yes, they won, but Oli Watkins was a bozo and couldn't score. Otherwise, we would have been here sitting talking about Arsenal as not a title contender at all. In this season, Arsenal do not scare me. They come into the San Siro. I know that Arsenal fans want to win this game, and I'm going to say this. You know why Arsenal fans want to win this game so badly? Even though it won't affect them?
Because of you.
Not really. Not really. It's not
no,
even
100% because of you.
I'm going to tell you why Arsenal fans...
Because they know footage judge more.
They are desperate to win this game. I'm going to tell you why. Because comes the end of the season, if Chelsea holding Conference League, maybe Man United holding a cup, maybe Liverpool holding another cup, and maybe Man City or Liverpool winning the league, everyone is having a parade. Arsenal parade will be, we're holding a sign, we beat Inter Milan in the San Siro. That's the Champions League. They still rave about this until this current moment from 2004 when they won. Bro, their Champions League is winning against big team. We beat Real Madrid with Henry. That's just nobody else brag about beating Real Madrid. No one. I don't brag about beating someone, this and that and far. But the problem with Arsenal fans is that comes the end of the season, this might be the only trophy they win. Is we beat Inter Milan in the San Siro. We beat a triple winner Inter Milan. We beat 3 times champions Inter Milan. That is their, like last season, we went to the Etihad and didn't lose. That was the trophy they won last season. Is that we won against Liverpool 3-1. That was the trophy. To be honest, that is the reality. If Arsenal come to the San Siro and win, I'll be so... This Arsenal team at the current moment is so mediocre that they don't scare me. Even though we're resting people, I believe still we're going to win the game, bro. Coming to our ground, they don't scare me at all. Set pieces, by the way, Arsenal still concedes from set pieces. And they haven't scored a lot of set pieces lately. It just inflated from last season. It's very simple. Arsenal don't scare me. I don't know. I know a lot of people, Inter are weak. Bro, do combined 11. About 7 players of our players will get into the starting 11.
What formation?
It doesn't matter. I swear to God, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so who are you taking from Arsenal?
Zomer in goalkeeper, Bastoni, and maybe I'll take Gabriel. On the right, on the left back is DeMarco. Maybe I'll take on the right back Timba. In the middle, Hakan Barella and Thomas Partey. Up top, even at the current moment, I'll take Lautaro, Saka, and Marcus Thuram. Even though I don't like Lautaro, but at least he's a proper number 9. Thuram will play on the left. So 3 players from Arsenal, 2 players. 3.
Okay, if we were to use the Inter formation, how many get in? Use the Inter formation.
Pavard and Bastoni. Maybe I'll take Gabriel as a sweeper, right? None of the fullback gets it.
Not Saliba. You wouldn't take Saliba.
This season, absolutely without no. Did you see him dancing? Did you see him watching Isak's back in the goal, 10 yards away, dancing, thinking that Isak is not going to hit the ball? Bro, Saliba has not been good this season. He was good last season. People don't speak about it enough. I'm going to tell you something, to be honest. in the current moment,
Can you answer, bro? Stop ducking.
say it again.
Saka left wing back or DeMarco?
No, left wing back, DeMarco, without a shadow of a doubt. Are you serious?
No, because they don't play with wingers in it. So we're not going to put
Exactly.
Saka up top.
Okay, to be honest with you, I'm asking you. I said my opinion. Left wing back, Saka, someone who has been playing wing back for the last 4 seasons, DeMarco, or you take Saka left wing back. You're the coach
Wallahi,
tomorrow.
I hope Arsenal slap you later.
I'm being serious. Who
Wallahi,
would
just
stop?
because
And
I
by the
know
way,
you,
2
I
forwards.
hope you get slapped 5-0 in your backyard. Inshallah, Arsenal win by 5 goals. Wallahi. Just because
Are
I
you
know
serious, bro?
I have no reason to hate on Inter. Just because I know Footy Judge Mo, I hope Arsenal win. Wallahi. If I didn't know you, I would hope Arsenal lose. But because I know you, I need Arsenal
Are
to
you
beat
twerking for Arsenal again? Based on
No,
what you think Arsenal will
I'm
win, bro?
twerking for no hatred. That's what I'm twerking for.
I'm just gonna tell you something, Connor. The difference between me and you is that in these 5 years, I won
He's
2
about
league
a foot and
titles.
a half.
Yeah, 2 league titles. And who does Connor support? Arsenal,
I don't know.
bro. We're
I
not
assume
even on the
so.
same level. We're not even on
Do,
the
do
same
we
level.
think that's Connor in the picture, though? Do we think that's Connor in that body in the picture?
100%? Yeah, it's Connor.
He's actually he's in good shape. I give him that. I give him
Very,
that.
very good shape.
Why the fake tan, though, is my question. It looks like fake tan. Maybe I'm seeing it wrong, but Bastoni's amazing. But so you think, what would you, how do you, before we get predictions, how do you see it? Honest, I know you want Arsenal to win, Husam, but how do you see it going tonight? You know, Arsenal have not been in good form. They've been a bit hit and miss at times in the Champions League this season, but Odegaard is back. How do you see this playing out at the San Siro tonight?
Listen, I want Arsenal to win just so we can cook Footy Judge more. But if I have to speak with my mind, I think Inter will win still. I can't even lie. What I want versus what I think is 2 different things. Like, I want Arsenal to win, to be honest with you, just so I can irritate Mo and I can annoy him and I can put up PNGs of Arsenal players just to piss him off. But if I'm speaking with my mind, I'm going for I just don't see Arsenal winning at the San Siro, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know, man. Arsenal are literally Saka and Inshallah. Like, that's their forward.
Thank you. Someone finally said it. It's Saka and Inshallah. It's literally Saka and Inshallah team, bro.
But I want Arsenal to win.
You can want what you want, bro. You can anybody
Bro,
can want.
They played like they did against Newcastle. Inter will slap them, bro.
Like, I don't understand this Arsenal chest thing. I think all they have left is just chest. That's all they have left because they have no points on the board. They have no goals scored, and they concede a lot of goals. That's all they have at the current moment.
Who?
Bro,
Who?
Arsenal literally have been rubbish this season in the league. Have been rubbish in the league
What do
this
you mean
season.
they got no point? What do you mean they got no points on the board?
They got 18 points only. Last season, they had 20
okay.
points. They're 6 points behind their... They're 6 points behind their
How many points does Arsenal have in the UCL? Let me check.
The same as Inter, 7. They both have 7 each.
Yeah.
Wow.
We went to Man City away, right?
They played PSG and they went away to
PSG is similar to Man City. Yes,
did they not go? They played Shakhtar. No, they went away to Atalanta that are above you in the league right now, aren't they?
No, Atalanta are not above us in the league.
I swear they were second the other day when they snapped up Napoli 3-0. I didn't check it over the weekend, to be fair.
Yeah, but they had a game in hand. Inter played it on one.
Oh, did they? Right, yeah, I didn't. Okay, yeah. You're just above them.
Also, we slapped Atalanta by 4-0 the week after Arsenal played.
Oh, did you? Wow, I didn't know that. But I mean, Atalanta stood. But let's be fair. If Inter are a good team on 24 points in Serie A, Atalanta on 22 points have to
very
be
good team. They're a very good team.
Yeah,
they're a very good team. But Arsenal supposed to be better than Atalanta.
What do you mean I'm being shameless? I'm being objective here. Like, it's not. Let's not lie that Arsenal have played crap teams in the Champions League so far. That would be a lie. And again, you're a Chelsea fan, Felix. If everybody was lying about Chelsea, you'd be getting in your feelings right now. So we're keeping the same energy. I'm just saying.
Who Chelsea are playing this Thursday? Noah. I swear to God, the name of the club is Noah. I swear, I'm not even making it up.
Noah. Yeah, no, again, listen, Inter should be winning tonight. Arsenal are not in good form. Arsenal's and I know not everyone likes this, but Champions League heritage is a thing, and I believe that your fans play. It's more if your players have recently been good in the Champions League and you guys have got the finals, that's part of it. I think the supporters play such an important part. Inter's fans have been there, done it, and worn the t-shirt. I think they understand the ups and downs, the emotions in a game, and crowd emotion transcends itself onto the football pitch. We saw yesterday. I actually thought the Sporting crowd were quite flat considering what the day was for them with Amorim leaving. Second half starts. It wasn't just because they scored. Listen to the crowd at the beginning of that second half. Right up for it. They scored, they went to another level. So I do, look, Inter on every level should be the favourites for this game.
I think Inter players shit their bed in the stadium. I actually think they are not going to cope with the...
you think you're going to bottle it?
No. They're gonna shit their bed. Arsenal players. They're not used to playing big stadiums like this. They're not used to playing big stadiums in Europe like this. They aren't. These players have never played. When they played at Bayern Munich, they couldn't handle the pressure. That's a reality, though. Arsenal need to know their place in Europe. I'm being serious. That's it. I've been saying the same thing. The team is playing the way maybe you can adapt and maybe you can reach the latter stages of the Champions League with like parking the bus and doing that. But Arsenal need to know, number one, all their players, right, don't have any European history at all. And the club itself doesn't have that, that heritage when you go to away games. They're not used to it in Europe. I think when they see the San Siro, when they see the Ultras, I'm being honest. They see the San Siro, they see the Ultras, Champions League anthem players shit their bed right away. They shit themselves. Right there. In that line, when they're shaking hands, Ultras are singing, you're not used to that. Champions League anthem, you're shitting yourself. The players are scared. The players are absolutely shitting themselves. Everyone's leg is shaking. They don't know what to do. Arteta has no European experience. That is the reality about the team. Maybe you are the third biggest team in England because you have 13 league titles and some cups. In Europe, Arsenal are just a Porto or less than Porto or a Benfica.
Porto have Champions League.
Valencia. Be Valencia, bro. I'm being serious, by the way. Valencia, Sevilla.
I said Porto, Valencia.
I am okay. Hold on. Reality speaking, Arsenal in Europe are not even on the level of a Porto or a Benfica or a Valencia or something like that. Valencia reached the final twice. You reached the final once. Valencia lost back-to-back finals, one in penalties and one from Real Madrid, right? The biggest club in the world. You haven't. That is what, and the club knows that. The shirt knows that. Your shirt is not used to Europe at all. And the players know this. That's the reality. You're not even close to any of the European big teams. Arsenal in Europe are not as big as Ajax, so it's just simple.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to some of these super chats here. This one says, Arsenal fans have to admit this, but their attack isn't great. Stop with this Havertz and Martinelli talk. They aren't good enough. Be a serious club.
Yeah, but now they're not going to get Gyökeres because the price went up.
By far.
The price went up for Gyökeres, and he might go to Man. I think if he goes to Man United, the mill down is going to be ridiculous. If Gyökeres goes.
As much as we've got, I know we've got Rasmus and he might improve under Amorim, and I know Xerxes. Yeah, I think Man United will sign him personally. I just think, like what we did with Man United with Erling Haaland. Ollie was the manager that started him off, and I know I don't want to necessarily sign players that are for the manager. I want to sign players that are for a system. But I just think when you watch Gyökeres, he can play for any team. He's good at the ball. He could play for any team. Or gone.
I think his internet is gone. It's only me, Husam, or his internet is gone.
Yeah, your internet's gone.
Yeah, his internet is gone. It's gone. Why are people saying talk some more shit? Who are you in Europe? Anyway, we're just we'll see tonight though. You'll see tonight. But Terry's internet is gone. So we're taking over the Football Terrace. Of course, me and Husam. You're back. You're back now. You kind of like.
Am I back?
A little bit, yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, the internet just cut off. Anyway, yes. Every time I mention, there we go. We should be back now. There we go. All of Mo's Chelsea agenda over the last 2 years are now forgiven. The cooking Arsenal fans will get after tonight will be legendary.
Yeah, bro, it's just very simple. And there is no agenda. Why do people think I have an agenda against Chelsea? I speak what and also I say it as I see it. You are crap at the current moment. You're coming to the San Siro. You have no European heritage. You're just going to lose. It's just simple. Anyway.
Everyone bookmark this stream. Come February when we are close the gap, Mo will try to spin it as though we are being favorites. His excuse will be things change.
Ivory Ultra, you don't have to think as far as February. Just wait till tonight. Tonight can be your opportunity. Just wait.
A hate video loading, Mo front and center is what Shawnee has got to say here. Ian says this is super shameless, Mo. So a few weeks ago, Arsenal were one of the best teams in Europe, not Spurs. Now Spurs are better than them. What are you talking about? This is Hamza level shamelessness.
Just to answer you, Ian, very simple. Your manager caused all of this by just returning into being, or going to be crap, to be honest. New guys, people don't understand this. New information, new opinion. Simple, Ian. Your manager started the season all right, and then now you have Arteta outers, a lot of them. So if you lose to Chelsea, we'll be there. If you lose to Chelsea, we'll be there, Ian. I want you here on the Football Terrace next Wednesday. If you lose to Chelsea, don't hide.
We'll see. We'll see.
Don't hide.
Mr. Khan says, inshallah, Inter win tonight. Come on, Judge Mo.
Yeah.
Big up,
Yes, Mr. Khan. Big up.
Here.
Yes.
We also drew against City with 10 men, you fraud.
Yeah, fine. Good for you then. Good for you. That's in the league then. Good for you. That's in the league.
City looking sloppy and Madrid retiring from football. The UCL is opening up. In terms of favourites, where would you put Inter, Mo?
At the current moment, we're just similar to everyone else. I still would think that in the Champions League, Pep and Real Madrid, we have seen this movie so many times with Real Madrid. They lost to Sheriff 2 years ago or 3 years ago and won the competition at the end. I'll never write like Ancelotti is there. So Madrid are the favorites without a shadow of a doubt in my mind. Hansi Flick's team.
I don't want Madrid to win it just because they're getting clear of everybody even more. I'd like someone else to. But it would be funny for Madrid to win it again, just for all their fans that want half their squad sold and their manager sacked, just to go, now what? Like, did your moaning really work? I like winding them up. They think it's, I just like winding them up. Scott McTominay tearing up Serie A, pipe down is what Abraham Espinoza says here. Yeah, he has been the best player in Serie A this year, to be fair.
100%. He's going to be player of the year. Scott McTominay.
Yeah. Amazing. By 2 goals, he says. Okay, we'll see. So what would your score prediction be, Judge Mo?
3-1. Just because we're going to concede a goal. 3-1. Set piece or something.
3-1. What you going with, Husam?
Just so Mo's life get ruined, 3-0 Arsenal.
Do you realize what you've just said? Well, you'll never be able to live it down if you get. I think you get beat at all tonight. You won't be able to live it down. If you get slapped, like Husam has said, you're wallahi, you're finished.
That's Premier League content as well.
You're finished, bro.
I'm finished. But I don't think it will happen, just to be honest.
Mo, if I see Mkhitaryan start again, I'll be finished.
Hey, he scored a goal.
He scored a goal. If Mkhitaryan scored today against Arsenal, I think they should cancel it. I think they should cancel Arsenal. Cancel the football club. Like, seriously, if Mkhitaryan at this age score against Arsenal, best centre-back pairing in the world, just cancel the club. Sell both.
I agree.
Is he completely fallen off? I mean, I haven't watched him play for a while.
Playing wise, yes. He's slower than anyone you think. He's slower than Casemiro.
There's no way we're about to have a Mkhitaryan segment.
Yeah, we're not. Anyway.
Mkhitaryan.
I don't even know all the other games tonight. Like, genuinely, I know that Villa kick off in like.
There's PSG Bayern, I think.
PSG Ati.
PSG Atletico, sorry.
Who did Bayern play Benfica though? And they could lose to anyone in the Champions League. Oh, I'd still like some more of these smaller teams to keep winning. Who have Brest got? Because I love Brest. They're playing Sparta. Brest could win again. Like, I hope Brest get through in the top 8. Like, I really would like a club their size. I have no idea who they were before this tournament begun. Where the team they're playing, where do they sit? The team they're playing are actually a 24th, right? They've won 1, drawn 1, lost 1. Please lose. If Brest were to win tonight and go on to 10 points, that'd just be amazing. It wouldn't guarantee. Do you know what? Actually, it would. If they get on to 10 points, they're pretty much guaranteed to at least be in the elimination playoff bit, which at least get into that bit, which would be amazing for them. So, yeah, I'm loving this new format.
I announced publicly I'm a supporter of Brest. Big up.
It hurts Husam when he sees Arsenal lose games. Fraud.
Yeah, it hurts me so much, Emeka. Get new content, brother. You're boring.
Maradon says we all love Brest.
100%.
Maradon.
I'm an honorary supporter of Brest. Let's go.
I'm not saying Maradon because I like Maradon. He's one of my trolls, but I do like him. Some of the trolls in our comments, like the only Brest they're getting is their mums. 100% bitty in it. That's it. It's the only Brest they're ever going to see. Look, I want to thank everybody that's tuned in. I want to say a big thank you to you. Please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe before you go. This video is going to redirect you to Don Husam's channel, so go and support him over there right now. We're going to be back live for the match reactions at the end of the night, where these two gentlemen should be joining us, plus a few Gunars as well. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless, and we will see you all again very, very soon.
Dobla dobla da da dobla dobla da dobla dobla da da dobla 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 da da dobla dobla de Lucho Luis Diaz. Oh my God! Incredible scenes of glorious emotion. That's a goal! Golazo! 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 Cody Gakpo! Yo, our front three is cooking. I told you, bro. Lucho! Da dobla dobla da da dobla dobla da da dobla dobla da. Made in Colombia. Vamos, Lucho! Vamos, Colombia! Let's go for Patrick Hero, Lucho Diaz. Let's go. Let's go.
Expose him! Expose him!
To the important topic, which is Arne Slot. Slot out.
Slot out.
Slot out. Slot out.
Slot out.
Slot out. That is my analysis of this slot situation. Hashtag slot out. Slot out. Slot out.
Slot out.
Slot out.
Slot out.
Slot out. Slot out.
Slot out.
Slot out.